akimake kills unajua tu kenye mimi nadu. Anyway, so guys, let's talk about tricky relationship situations.
Okay.
Thank you. Please. I am glad you responded.
The ones that are in a relationship.
You haven't haven't you had like past relationships?
I have, but you see, when you're you're in a current relationship, you're in a better position to explain, like you.
Yeah.
No, but you see, I might be in a relationship, but it's not tricky.
Oh, please.
Are you certain?
Yes.
It's never been tricky. So
No.
you're in a perfect relationship.
You lying.
No, not like
I'm
that.
just saying.
Huh?
I feel like you're lying.
You feel like I'm cheating.
Oh God.
Or little girl
Listen.
skills.
Okay, tricky relationship.
Let's define what tricky means. Are you dating a relative? Are you dating someone older than you? Are you dating someone way younger than you? Are you dating by the roadside
I
or in a
know.
hotel room? What do you mean by
It's
tricky?
like a huge.
It's huge.
Okay, it's a very broad
I know.
topic, honestly, but tricky. I believe tricky in the sense that perhaps there are things you may not be very comfortable with that are happening in the relationship, or maybe the factors of the relationship that you do not fully support or you're not very comfortable with, but you're overlooking them, so to speak, or you're just going with them.
For example,
Me, I haven't been in a tricky relationship, but I know someone who's been in one. Like, I would say there was this very, very conservative young man. Like, he believes in African traditions like me. One foot in traditions, another in modernity. Now he comes across a chick and they fall in love, and they date for a year and a half, and then they do just randomly we're having a conversation, and then he tells me, my chick is into both men and women. Like she is bisexual and stuff. But this guy is conservative. So I'm asking this guy, so are you going ahead to go and marry her and stuff? I wouldn't want some traits to go back to my generations because I'm a conservative person. But then again, I love her. She's meant for me and stuff. So I would say that's tricky, but I don't know. To me, it was just like, hey, bro, that's tricky because you can't get in between people who sleep in the same sheets.
But you see, you when you mentioned the fact that he's actually African, I understood, because I know so many guys who are comfortable in a relationship where your woman loves another woman. Guys are so comfortable with that. But you mentioned the fact that it's African, so yeah, that's tricky, kinda. I don't know. It's not. See, you can just easily leave. You don't have to stay. I don't think there's such a thing as this one is meant for me, because no one really knows the future. And besides, you're told in your whole lifetime you fall in love with 3 people. So maybe that's the first person. You have 2 more to go. Move on if you're not comfortable.
No, I don't know. That's tricky.
That's tricky. For me, I'm also thinking tricky in terms of, you know, those distant relatives. Like you come to realize later, we are
that
related,
my cousin,
you know, but it's so distant. So you just have to like sit down and tell each other, you know, this can't work. Or probably one of your family member tells you, hey man, you guys are related. And you go, what?
Let me tell you one thing. I think we live in a very, very weird world right now, because I met a friend of mine, and then she met her cousin. Actually, they're first cousins, but they don't hang out a lot. I think they've not seen each other for a very long time. So now they finally saw each other, and they actually hooked up and went home together.
What?
And they've done that more than once, twice, and it's not a big deal.
But they knew.
They knew. Actually, my friend was like, "That's my cousin. I've not seen him for a while." So they, where have you been, Nini? Yeah.
But that's wrong.
But
this generation.
But generically, that's
when
wrong.
you guys are,
And it just
you've never been in
It's
that
incest.
situation. Like there's a cousin of yours.
I know. Everyone has been. Don't even sit here and lie.
Don't
You
lie.
know, now for me,
Yeah.
you remember even when we were discussing the whole. Sorry, you remember when we were discussing the whole issue of finding out someone's ethnicity and whether it plays a role.
Yes.
For me, that to some extent, for a very long time, it played a role in the sense that I wouldn't date people from my community because this happened way back in high school. There's this chick I really liked, and you know, things were moving on gradually and all that, and it was now getting to the point where we were just about to get into a relationship. The interesting thing is we had an event in school.
Okay.
So I go and introduce the girl to my mom. You know, our African parents usually are like,
your parents,
you tell me who are your parents? You know, yeah.
When you say your second name, it rings a bell.
Is Nani from here.
Oh,
The moment she went like that, I was just like, okay, you know what? Yeah, it's been real.
Wait,
Because I
you
later
guys
found out
had
that guys were related.
You're
I was like,
related.
Savage.
peace.
Had you guys
No, we hadn't.
few?
I was very innocent.
No, we
Let me
agreed
ask you,
that is
were you
after
guys
marriage.
related?
Tell me.
Now, after she met my mom, yes, I found out what it. Because us guys, we don't do the whole family gatherings and all that
I
stuff.
know.
Yeah,
You get to know your cousins and
exactly.
stuff.
So I actually
But
found out that
still,
we were
even if you
related.
do those family gatherings, there's just those distant relatives
That
that
you
you
know.
rarely.
Yeah.
But ours wasn't at its so distant. It was like a second cousin.
It was oh.
Yes.
Now I have a question. When you're talking about the tricky relationships, this open relationships like that
find
people
them
have,
tricky.
they're
They're
tricky.
very-
Like
Let me
open
ask you guys a
relationships.
question. Is there such a thing as an open relationship?
There are guys who do it, yes.
Yeah, they're
Really? But I
Yes.
find like
Like
that's not
swingers?
tricky because from the word go, you've actually made up your mind. You know this is an open relationship you're going into, and you should be actually fully prepared for anything that comes with it.
Let me ask.
But
in
are those
that
two
in-
people in love?
Let me ask. In that
Yeah.
open
I
relationship,
don't
if I'm
think
in
so.
an open relationship with, let's say, ABC,
No, not me. I can't do open relationship.
say,
Don't
Even now,
okay,
you can't-
Olilo.
Yeah, Olilo is the best.
Okay, let's see Solilo.
Just
If
Eric.
we're in an open relationship, it means I'm also having other people.
Yeah.
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 You have
Let me
other
tell you
people,
this
I have
quickly,
other
that's
people.
tricky.
Is open relationship same as friends with benefits?
No, really, not
This
really.
one,
But kind
you're
I think it's friends with benefits
but
because
no,
it's
just
only
there.
in friends with benefits that you do not care what your partner does. You
Yeah.
know, because
Because if I'm thinking, if even in an open relationship, I should also not care what you're doing with others.
but you're in a relationship,
But
so you love this
you-
person. That's why you guys are in a
But
relationship.
let me say, in an open relationship, that's where your partner, like both of you have agreed you are in a relationship. You've established
So
that.
you are in love.
Yes, and then maybe you have your own ideas of ideology of love. Like I don't know, I feel like I haven't settled with you. I do love you, but I feel like I should touch the world first a bit to realize if I am really into you. Like let me venture the world a bit as I'm holding on
But
to
why
you.
would
And then the open relationship,
Exactly.
when friends with benefit.
Why would you commit with someone
And
if
you're not decided?
But the thing is,
just a minute, Jay. If you're having like 7 guys in your list, just have the 7 guys.
7
But
what?
don't be committed to be
don't
like
be
one
committed.
of them.
The
Don't
thing
be
is,
committed to one and still want to have these 6.
That is
let me tell you, it's
selfish.
not even about being selfish
I
or
want to
what.
answer you that. You said use the word committed.
Yeah.
That means when you're in a relationship, that means you're committed.
Yes.
But this an open relationship, you're not committed. Unaweza taste.
But
No,
some
you're
they
not
do
committed.
put commitment in it.
That's some, but me when you understand open relationship, you can still do your own thing outside there.
So that's
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a video I saw this week on social media. There's a couple that's been married for I think like 10 years. Recently, they opened up their marriage to bring in
A third
another
party.
guy, another man.
Good.
Yeah, and it's not just the lady who enjoys the extra benefits of having this other man,
Even the man.
even the man.
For
That
real.
is
Yeah,
such
I
a
saw
Yes.
the video.
But-
They're living
And
together.
they're
Living
all in
together.
love, and they
The three of them.
Yeah.
yes,
And they're living the same house.
they live in the same house, they share the same
I don't
bed.
think they're in
Sunday.
love. They just have.
But
a
then
man.
again,
But
my
that's-
But those guys are very
listen,
comfortable.
Let me tell you
I
one thing.
agree.
One of them wanna weave.
To me,
There's
to me,
no way you can
even
just
the
go
kids-
outside.
To me, I agree with them. Those that couple, I also saw the same thing. But I think
Ladies,
they are
we
old
didn't see
people.
the
You can't
video.
raise kids
We didn't
in
see
such a
the video.
setting. You can't just raise kids in such a setting.
So they didn't have
Where
that.
true.
I
So,
think they are
for
just
me, I
old
think
The
I
people.
relationship thing is a very tricky
It's very
one
tricky
there.
because
Very tricky.
we're all emotional beings,
Yeah.
and
I
I
know.
feel there's a point where itakuuma. There's a point
Of
where
course.
you won't be comfortable with.
Definitely.
Yeah.
True, totally.
So, what would you do if you found out? This is especially, I guess, to the ladies. If you found out the guy you were dating is uncircumcised.
First of all, in my own experience of the number of times I have had sex in my life, I have not been, I don't know, are you able to tell if, let me ask you guys, please, Miss Idiani, are you able to tell if a guy is circumcised or not when you have sex with them? Because I don't know.
Yes, you can. Tell
How?
me.
Is okay. I honestly have not met a man who's not circumcised.
Me
Please.
too.
Would you know if you did?
No.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, you can.
That's
Some
my,
lie.
how would you know, Brenda?
Please tell us.
Fine.
No, okay.
No,
we can-
honestly, how would you know? because I probably met someone and I have no idea, you know. So please let me know.
I will.
Before Brenda answers, let me give Brenda time to think. There's that song by Beyonce called All the Single Ladies.
Yeah.
When he starts singing in any club,
Yeah.
all the men sit down and watch. This is what we are doing right now.
Oh, so it's the ladies playing right now.
Yeah, let's
No, okay, so let's... Hey, how do I answer that?
Just answer.
As
Because
honest
Just be honest.
as straightforward as it is.
Hey, watu wangu.
no, honestly, be honest. How would you know?
Ni kitu rahisi.
Okay, like let me say,
an album.
there's this movie I've watched. I don't know if you watched. It's called Girls Trip.
Yeah.
And there's this lady who describes the whole thing about when you want to have sex with an uncircumcised man, you peel it off, and I do not know all
No,
that.
did she say uncircumcised?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
can't
sorry.
remember
She
the
didn't
Yes.
say uncircumcised. I watched that movie where you're using
So in short, you guys can't tell if a man is circumcised or
I
not.
don't.
I
But
can't tell.
we too, we can't tell if a lady is circumcised.
Yeah.
So we can't tell.
Mbona mnenda mbali sana? You
So,
know these
no,
things. You just say
Brenda,
it once.
just
Yeah.
tell us.
Just say it
Like-
once, you know.
Do you?
And then also tell them if you'd go on with a relationship. if you
Yeah, I
found
know,
out.
because if she tells me, then I'd know if I want to or if I don't want to.
We're waiting on you, Brenda. Precious time.
No, chill was saying.
Be
You
you.
just tell us.
Okay, so
I
to
can't
either of you, like,
explain
if you actually knew,
Okay, it sounds like it's disgusting, so I don't think I would want to. But also, again, if it doesn't affect the sex in any way, then I wouldn't mind.
Honestly, I do not know if it would affect me. It basically it depends with who the man is and how we relate, and I feel like it's not a vital thing. If we are coming to a neutral term
So you
of
wouldn't mind?
understanding, yes.
But then again, let's talk in an era of let's talk from an era of information.
Yeah.
It's about hygiene and disease. That's why most men are being encouraged to get circumcised.
Yeah, true.
But I don't. You look at in like 10 years ago, there were regions where men were not being circumcised. They had healthy babies, healthy relationships, healthy families.
Yeah.
And some still practice that up right now. But with the
Current.
with the current information,
Okay, if you put
and
it like
sharing,
that,
yeah.
the hygiene and stuff, of
Yeah.
course, I wouldn't be comfortable
Yeah,
with
yeah.
it.
But when it comes to love and stuff, love goes on.
Plus, if I'm not able to notice, like if there's no difference, then I don't think it's a huge deal.
so seeing as Brenda has chosen
Not
to sit
true.
out
You know.
this conversation, so what would you do if you found out your partner is HIV positive?
Okay, naturally, of course, okay, it depends. Have you been in a relationship for so long? So if I find out, so that means I'm also HIV positive.
It really depends on a lot
We're in a
of
relationship,
factors.
right?
Yes.
I find out you're HIV positive, and we've been sleeping together. So that means I'm
That
also.
means I'm also.
So okay, one, let me put it this way. First of all, the moment you guys begin to get serious with someone,
Yeah.
would you expect them to just come out and tell you of their status?
I would want someone to be honest with me, because I'll still love them regardless. And besides, there's so many measures these days. Like if you're dating someone who's HIV positive, there are measures you can take. There are pills and stuff like that too.
To
If
prevent.
he's honest,
Yes.
and I love the guy, I mean, I would want someone to tell me. Honestly, I would.
So what should you do if maybe you guys have been going on, you've been in a relationship for like even probably like 6 months to a year, and then
But let me
At
ask
that
you,
point
6
is when-
months
months ni kidogo.
VCT, like you guys,
No, if it's
Okay.
6 months we've gone to the VCT and we've got
If
it.
it's
not
been-
everyone
Not
actually,
everyone does.
yes.
Okay.
if you've been dating for a long time, let's say 3 to 4, 5 years, I have a connection with someone, you have a strong bond. Then he comes out and tells me, we can figure it out, we can work things out. But if it's 6 months, I'm not that into it,
I
sana.
detached.
That one I will
But
stay.
for me, I'd feel like my trust is broken because if you've gone out for like 2 years, sungeniambia tu
See, maybe he's just found out he got it
Okay.
while he was with you. So now he's
Oh,
telling you.
meaning he was
cheated.
cheating on you.
Meaning he cheated.
Yeah, something like that.
Then it's a
that's-
done deal.
Yeah,
there
for me,
are
that's
other
a
ways
done
of
deal.
transmission. Anyway,
But-
Eric, what
But that's
would
the
you do?
ultimate.
That's
What I'll do? Okay, depends. If we were in a relationship or if you're married, still. Okay, let me use marriage.
Okay, for marriage these days, I think the law requires you to actually
go.
go for testing
For
together
testing.
before
you get married.
anything. Yeah.
At times, what happen
In the marriage.
in the marriage?
Oh, in the marriage, okay.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you, hakuna haja ya kusugarcoat
No,
hapa.
what
Don't sugarcoat
happen?
it. Just say it as it
Inaweza
is.
happen. Then I came and find out maybe T is positive, you know. So kuna vitu tunaongelea to, like, we just have to, okay, if not counseling, we just have to sit down together. It doesn't mean our relationship will break up, our marriage is gonna break up. Yeah, no, inadependa nyinyi venye muko, unaona.
Okay, on second thoughts, Olilo.
And another thing, another thing, it doesn't mean, okay, I'm positive, it won't be the same. Like, inaweza kuwa mimi niko positive,
Well,
uko positive, unaona. So
That
still,
is before we started dating,
No,
ama
to-
while
even in a marriage.
You're in marriage.
No,
Even in
even-
marriage.
But higher chances are for men over
they're
women.
actually people who've had sex with HIV positive people and not contracted the virus. Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to understand if it's a relationship already. So were you HIV positive before or after?
But let me say, if it was before, and maybe say we're dating for like we've been dating for like 2 years,
Yeah.
then trusting you is a problem,
Yeah,
because where were you to tell me all this time? And let me say, if it's you positive in the relationship, like you did not come positive, you're
Now
not
you
positive,
are.
it means you're cheating on me,
So
and
it's
it's
a
a
done
done
deal.
deal.
Okay, I have a question. So you're gonna walk out if you're positive?
Definitely.
But now
no,
if-
if I'm positive, I will walk out, because one,
If now
this
you're
is-
both positive, are you gonna walk out?
positive it is, yes,
So
but I'll
unapeleka
walk out,
pia
because
ugonjwa.
let me say,
Since
first and
I
foremost,
did
Afadhali tudili na yeye, afadhali tukae kwenye
no,
relationship yetu.
like, let me say,
Unaenda wapi uko positive and positive? Unaenda
But let me
wapi
say,
uko positive?
You know,
Can't be
Can I-
sorry.
No, it's serious.
Can I enlighten you on something?
Yeah.
Please do.
The virus works very differently in different types of bodies.
Yes.
There's a way, if I have the virus and you have the virus,
Yeah.
and we cohabit, there's a way my virus can kill you faster than the way your virus can kill you faster. So that's why it's not even encouraged for people with HIV to have sex with people with HIV.
But the thing
Otherwise, it will have been wale wenye wako nayo hii side, wale wenye hawana hii side,
So,
maisha iendelee.
ABC have a
But hearing it-
No, no, ABC have a question.
You walk away.
No,
Una walk
listen,
men. But
let me tell you,
listen, wait. It will
Eric has a
depend-
point.
Walking away will depend with the personality of you people. Because if both of you are already infected
Hey.
and stuff, why can't you just chill the fuck down and take care of each
Kwa mnenda
other?
clinic
But
pamoja.
you know, that's the
Like,
issue.
let
The issue is they'll be if probably the guy went out and cheated,
So
or I
let me
went
ask
out
you.
and cheated,
And he
they'll
got
be trusting
infected.
Yes.
Why should we just say cheating is the only way to transmit HIV?
You guys
Okay,
have
we are
dated for
just
so
using
long.
cheating.
Okay, you guys have okay. Let's say
you're trying
it
to
was
say
sexually
alienda mali
transmitted.
kakatwa na wewe.
Hold up, hold
Now,
up.
what if he was into
Tusidai,
drugs? What if
please.
he
Hold
was into
up.
drugs?
Let's say okay, let's say it was sexually
I think-
transmitted. If the guy comes and confesses and says, "Hey, babe, it's like this. I made a mistake. I slipped. I went and had sex with someone else.
now I'm
I recently
HIV.
got tested. I just found out I'm positive." Like, he's honest on all levels. Like, it was a mistake, and he comes and he's actually honest with you, and he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry. Will you still leave him?"
Like, let me say, it depends.
Let me give you an example to that. It's like, I'm two-sided about it. You're supposed to forgive him because at this point he really, really
I'm
needs
at the
you.
fence.
Na kuja by the time akuja kukwambia he's feeling so bad about it, and then his life is already over. You know, like you're the only one he has. But also, it's like some 15-year-old chick was arrested because she actually stabbed someone because she was angry, she was stressed that guy was hovering around her, spanking nini nini. So she got mad and stabbed that guy. So does that mean that now we're supposed to understand her because she was mad and she was depressed? At the end of the day, she has to face what she did. She was wrong. So this guy, you cheated. Sawa, you have HIV, I am sorry, but it's high time you...
But why do you say now you have HIV, your life is over?
It
didn't
is.
understand. It's not over.
It
HIV
is.
is just a disease. It can be
You're
treated.
different, you're not
It's
the
just a
same
virus.
person.
It's a-
You're
Like,
not
can
the
you
same
not-
person.
It's not over. There are things
Would
you
you
can
be
still
glad
do
if you
on.
got HIV right now and be like, my life is not over, I'll just
No one
continue
wants to
on.
get
Okay,
sick.
me have a question.
No one wants to get sick.
Exactly,
Actually,
no
So
one.
I wouldn't
Exactly.
be glad.
Okay,
But
again.
you can't say that it's over
But you
now
can't
that
sit there and say that it's cool,
I'd
it's
say
not.
this.
Okay,
Olilo, I'd say
me
this.
have a question. Sawa, you find out I was positive, sindio?
Yeah.
Then it didn't affect you. After 6 months, okay, ulijama ukasema, we break this thing, nimetoka kwa life yako, sindio? After 6 months, then you come and tell me like, hey, mi pia niko ndani. What will you do?
The thing is,
Like, do you expect me to take you back?
Exactly, what do you
Now
mean?
that you rejected me.
I don't.
Wait,
Wait, let me ask
I'm a
you.
human. I'm not not a robot.
Don't only walk out.
You walked out. You tell me.
But let me
you're
ask you,
my boyfriend.
I feel like you
Like,
demand a lot from this. First and foremost, keep in mind you have infected me. I have a choice to stay or leave.
Or
And
sleep.
if I'm leaving, it's not like I'm leaving to go and indulge myself with other people sexually.
Exactly.
Maybe I have decided to actually close my legs, and you know what? Life has to go on. You've infected me. My life doesn't have to stop. I am going forth.
And
I'm not going
as
forth
the one,
with you.
and as the one who's HIV positive, you do not have to have an
I think
expectation on
there's an
someone.
example I used.
Let me say, let me give my opinion. Okay, for me, it'll be a bit of a tricky
It's a tricky
situation.
one as well.
It's very tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many things that come into play. So I think my first step of action, my first course of action will be, let's both go get tested, like to confirm, am I also in this? Am I not?
Yeah.
And then it also depends on how you approach me and how we approach the whole issue.
True.
Yeah, we're adults, we're mature people. So how you approach it is what determines how we actually handle the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess all these tricky situations affect each of us. Some are a bit more serious than others. It all depends on how you guys address it, and you move on. Also, your personality actually determines a lot.